Have you been posting content nonstop, but you're still not getting high paying clients? It's frustrating, right? You're showing up in your business, you're doing all the things, you're being consistent, but you're still not getting clients. But today I'm going to show you why this is happening and how you can fix that. The reason why you haven't been able to attract high paying clients boils down to three things. It's not about how hard you've been working, but how you've been thinking about your content and your messaging and the strategy behind it. Reason number one is you don't know your ideal client well enough to tap into their emotions. Oftentimes, we think we know our ideal client, but if we're not getting on calls with them, if we're not asking them the right questions, we are just guessing. We're not really using the strategy of understanding our ideal client to create content from that place. Instead, we're guessing, thinking we know our ideal client. This is the biggest mistake most entrepreneurs make when starting out. It's easy to assume that we know our ideal clients, what they want, how they feel. But when we don't really ask them, we don't really ask those questions, we don't really get into that zone of where they're at, that's when our message gets confusing. And when someone is confused, they don't buy because they're not saying, hey, I feel that you're speaking to me, or I know that this is exactly what I need. They're not raising their hand to say, this is exactly what I need, or this is what I want because you're speaking to me and I feel understood and I feel taken care of. When you fail to ask the right questions, you fail to resonate with them, you fail to create content that is crystal clear, that is speaking to those specific people that you want to speak to. And when your content is not resonating, you fail to attract high paying clients. This leads us to the second reason, which is your messaging is confusing. When your messaging is confusing, you're confused about the strategy, the way you're taking your content to create a path for your ideal clients. So, what you want to do is understand that in order for your clients to be clear on what's the path that they need to follow to work with you first have to be clear on that. If today you're talking about design and next time you're talking about random life updates, there's no path for them to follow. They get confused. When someone is confused, they do not buy, they do not pay attention, they do not connect with you. So when your messaging is not strategic, it does not create a pathway for them, it's very hard for them to take action because they're confused on what that action is that they need to take. And the last thing is that your content is not emotionally compelling. High paying clients invest because they feel something. If your content is purely informational, it's not creating a compelling argument, it is not understanding your ideal client from their point of view of things, then it's going to miss the mark. People need to feel that you understand them on a deeper level, that you understand their struggles, their fears, their frustration before they can even trust you for them to buy from you. Now that you know these mistakes, now let's talk about how you can start fixing them so you can actually start attracting high paying clients in your business. The first thing you want to do is research your ideal client. Like one of the things I did in the beginning of this year was actually understanding more of my ideal client, understanding their deepest desires, deepest struggles, deepest fears. The way I did this was actually putting myself out there and understanding that in order for me to get the details of what their struggles and their desires were, that I needed to speak to them in person. I needed to have those phone calls, have those interviews. I needed to record those interviews so I could go back and listen to them. And these are the things that gave me the language and the perspective inside their mind so I can create content strategically speaking to them. There's no way that I could have been able to create content that speaks to my ideal client by just guessing. And I have a clear idea of who my ideal client is. My ideal client is web designers. And I understand that in order for me to attract web designers, I can't just guess what they're going through. What I went through 9, 10 years ago when I started my web design business is not the same as the things that they're going through right now. I had to just go back and understand what are their struggles in their own language. How do they describe it? How do they feel about it? I understand that it's scary to ask people to get on an interview with you, to do these ICA interviews, but you have to do it if you really want to create content that is attracting your ideal client, content that is going to take you to that next level of getting more clients in your business. The information, the actual language, and the details that you get from interviewing your ideal clients, what we want to do is we want to gather that information and tailor that information so you are the solution to their problems. We don't want to create a service or a product that everybody wants, but we want to create a product that is that exact solution of the problem that they're having. That's why interviewing them and knowing what their struggles and their fears and their concerns are is going to really help you even just identify what is that service that they really need right now. Then the next step really is just about positioning yourself as a solution. Your content needs to guide them to that step. Your content needs to create that pathway that you are the solution to the problem that they're having. So the next step is to create a compelling communication strategy. So this strategy is going to help you actually know exactly what you're going to say in your content, laying out the pathway for them to know you are the solution. Your communication, your emails, the content, any aspect of your marketing needs to be strategic for them to know you are the next best step. It needs to be clear, it needs to be consistent, and it needs to be compelling. If your content is not connecting with them, and if it's not saying, hey, you're speaking to me, this is exactly what I need, and I am ready to take the next step, then that's when we are missing the mark. That's the idea we have to create in our strategy. So, when you're creating a strategy, you don't just provide information, provide value. Of course, you want to do that, but you also want to be able to create that connection part, be able to create content that is compelling through your stories. It all starts with understanding your ideal client. It all starts with also creating that strategy that's going to help you know exactly what to say, when to say it, and what is the pathway that you're laying out for your clients to then take that step to working with you. In order for your content to attract high paying clients, it needs to provide a transformation. When you're strategic about understanding, okay, my client is here and they want to get here, and my content, which is free, which is giving value, needs to do three things. It needs to attract them, it needs to connect, and it needs to drive them to take action. So if I need to do these three things in my marketing, then everything else that I'm creating goes behind that strategy, right? Behind the understanding that, okay, what is going to be the thing that's going to attract my ideal client? What is going to be the thing that's going to connect them with me, with understanding that I am the solution that they've been looking for, that I am the next best step for them to go from A, where they're at, to B, the transformation that they're having. By the way, I have a free masterclass that is up and running. You can watch it at any time at janetsoriano.com/masterclass. This masterclass is going to take you through the steps of simplifying your marketing. So I'm going to show you how you're going to lay the foundations of attracting high paying clients in your business. Go ahead and sign up for that masterclass and I'll see you there. Now, if you're interested in breaking down what are the things that make up high quality content in your business, then I want you to watch this next video. We're going to go over how to create high quality content to attract high paying clients. See you there. Bye.